And we are very looking forward... Oh my god.
We are very looking forward to it.
Hello and welcome back to the Dlsone podcast. This is episode 13, and I'm Adam, or the Rubik's Cubed.
I'm Daniel Goodman, or DGCubes.
I'm Avocado, or #Cuber.
And Derpy cannot make it today, and the same for Allison, unfortunately. But we'll definitely have them on next time. And our guest for today is Jesse, or JRCuber.
What's up, guys?
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Awesome. All right. So I just want to make one quick announcement before we get started here. This is our 13th episode and our 1-year anniversary. So, yay!
Yeah!
Yay.
I love podcasts.
I actually watched all the episodes before I came on.
Hey!
Or basically since Princeton, when you told me about it, I was like, I watched one of the episodes and I was like, this is really good. And so I just watched all of them.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
What
That
we
was
try to
awesome.
do is we try to have as much fun as possible.
Not
That's
at
our
once.
number one goal.
At least.
That would not be good.
Spend the whole day just still soning nonstop. See, you can do that now, because now we have, 13 episodes, an hour per episode, 13 hours. That's half a day,
true.
I guess.
That's true.
Do it.
Yeah, so we do recommend that you binge watch 13 episodes straight. You could go do that right now. Anyway, so I'm really surprised it's been a year. It definitely does not feel like that, but we've been going strong, and yeah.
Lit.
So if you guys have any suggestions for ways we can improve, as always, or future guests, you can leave those down below, and we can continue from there. Anyway, let's get started with our agenda. The first thing we have to do is a Q&A, as always. So, let's get started with the questions. First up from Spotty. She's mentioning the Australian accents that we did last episode. She says they were really good. I somehow doubt that she's telling the truth there.
Yeah, no way. No way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Question for all you guys. Do you think that 4K is a good idea for cubing videos? Considering things like editing and rendering speeds and the amount of people who actually will be able to take advantage of 4K videos in the cubing community.
Oh, this is an interesting one, because I want to buy a 4K camera soon.
Huh.
Then let's get started with your opinion. Go ahead.
I think so, because I think 4K is becoming the new normal, right? I think within a few years it will be, just like 1080 was. When was 1080? When did 1080 become relevant? Like 2008 or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It wasn't actually that long ago. It's crazy how far we've come. But I think there's actually a significantly more amount of people than people realize who actually can watch in 4K. And videos actually look nicer, even if you have a 1080p monitor, when you put them in 4K than if they're on 1080, because it's a higher bitrate on YouTube. And I think that's just where it's heading, especially now with 4K 60 in several cameras. I think the GH5.
That's
is what I'm
amazing
thinking of,
that people
that
can
has 4K
do
60,
that.
and I think it's going to be supported by YouTube soon. So it shouldn't. It should just be a. I think it'll. I mean, of course, it's going to make everything look nicer, but I think it is where everything's heading. So.
I definitely see no reason not to, especially since if you record in 4K and people don't have the technology to view it in 4K, then they could just view it at 1080p.
Yeah.
You know, there's no detriment to recording in 4K, and I definitely think it'll take some time. Like Jesse mentioned, 2008 you said was when around the time,
something like that. It was, I think I'm just remembering when YouTube put it on, made it available. Because for a while, YouTube came out in 2005,
right?
And for a long time they just had standard definition.
Yeah.
And then they had 720 for a while, and I think it was 2008 or 9 when they added 1080.
Right. Okay, so let's consider that year. If we consider 2008 the year that they adopted 1080p and then it became widely used, then you could say that maybe a little bit over 5 years is when it became, widely accessible to the public. So considering that rate, it will take a few years for technology to catch up, probably. But, I mean, eventually in a few years we will have the capabilities to... Most of us will have the capabilities.
4K cameras launched in 2012, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and most phones nowadays come with 4K cameras.
Yeah.
Right.
if you look at like Moore's law, you know that thing that says like every year and a half or 2 years or whatever, technology and like computing power is supposed to double. You know, like I don't know exactly how that would be applied to resolution, but if you could, like 1080 times 4 is 4K by definition, right? So like wouldn't that would mean like I don't know 3-4 years after 1080p became a thing, we should be doing 4K. So I mean,
It about follows that
That's
trend.
what
Yeah.
happened, though.
Yeah.
That's basically
Yeah.
what happened.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, and now we're seeing 8K.
Yeah.
And there has been.
Yeah, that's
I think
insane.
it's just one video that was uploaded in 8K to YouTube. Like
Right.
YouTube allowed it for that one video.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It was to like show a new sensor by Red.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Of course, there's no 8K monitors to even watch it.
Yeah.
yet, so-
Yeah. Oh, Red is insane. The stuff that they
Mhm.
make. It's insane.
yeah.
Anyway, anything more to add to that?
I think it's a good idea, but definitely not necessary, especially for cubing. And like,
Yeah.
if like, let's just say JRCuber is uploading 4K videos, do not think that you need to like also upload 4K videos just to
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
just to
That's very
match its
true.
quality. Because like it's not just the camera, you also have to invest in like a computer to like good enough to edit 4K and stuff.
Yeah.
No. Don't
And-
listen to Ava. You have to have a 4K camera in order to get that many subscribers.
Yeah, and
no,
like-
that's definitely true.
To be fair, you could probably get pretty big on YouTube, and I mean, people do if they're even in like 480p, as long as they have like good lighting, good content, good audio.
Quirkology.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Quirkology.
Yeah,
You know,
Yes.
consistently 480p, but what 2 million subscribers? Like it's doable.
Yeah.
So
They still
Yeah.
upload in 4x3.
yeah. I don't know. I think if they changed it, it wouldn't be the same.
And the reason why is because their stuff is so unique, you know?
Yeah. You don't
I
need
love
it
that
in
channel
HD.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but some of the charm from those videos is because of the kind of old timey feel.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think they should change it.
Yeah, I don't either.
But that's also a very specific situation.
Yeah. But I mean, it is doable, especially if you're just starting out on YouTube or something. If that's all you have, it is doable to get somewhere with it, as long as you just turn a light on when you're recording. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
if,
see some people who don't think to turn a light on.
Yeah.
When they want to record a video. It just doesn't make sense.
yeah, if it's 2 in the morning and you don't have a light on and everyone's sleeping, so you have to whisper, just don't make a video. Like, wait till the morning, go outside, make a video. I don't know.
But it's good if you have like that drive to make a video, but also consider that you want to make it quality.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
like what Ava was saying, 4K is becoming more accessible. Like most phones have 4K now. So if you're just starting out and let's say you just want to use your phone, you could technically, if you had a modern phone, you could upload 4K.
I only upload with footage from my phone.
Same.
But you edit on your computer.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
the-
but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, just as, like DG and I, our examples, you don't need expensive camera gear to shoot some videos. Yeah,
Adam-
it definitely helps the quality, but
Adam, why don't you tell your DSLR story you told me at Princeton?
if you go back and watch this, I'm trying to remember what unboxing this is. It's one of probably my second or third most recent unboxing. My friends were over. We were recording a project for school, and I used my friend's DSLR to record a video, and I posted it as a little experiment, not mentioning that it was a new camera, and not one person noticed that it was different from my phone. And it's probably like twice as expensive. It's like price isn't directly proportional to the quality of your video. That has a lot to do with what content you're making.
I also
So.
noticed one time MKBHD uploaded a video that he shot on an RX 100, and no one could tell the difference from his $50,000 Red camera, and
Yeah.
that's like an $800 camera.
Wow.
Like it was indistinguishable, and
Huh.
I was like looking back and forth, and I was like, it was probably because of YouTube's processing. Like
Yeah.
the raw files are probably like you could easily tell the difference, but after all the processing, it looked the same, and
Yeah.
that makes me wonder because his videos look so amazing, and yet he says that they don't look anywhere near as good as the raw files. It's like I want to see a raw
Yeah.
file.
True.
Yeah.
He should just have a party where he
He
can
should-
come and just use a thumb drive to download raw files.
Yeah, I've heard his upload files are like 30 gigs for like a 10
Oh
minute-
my
for like a
goodness.
What?
Yo, that's crazy.
That's some dedication right
Yeah,
there.
he should make a Patreon where you pay and you get to see raw files.
That would actually be a good idea.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. So if there's nothing else to add there, I'm gonna move on to the next question. All right. Two shot reg. Question for JRCuber and everyone: is it okay to cube in public? 1. Number 2: do you cube in public? Number 3: what reactions do you get? And is it showing off?
Okay, number 1, yes.
So
it's not illegal, so yeah, it's okay.
you will be arrested if you cube in public. Do not cube in public. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I actually recently mentioned something to DG about this. I am somebody who cubes in public. A lot of people do not do that. I never really understood why. I get why, like, the idea of not trying to show off and anything, but I don't think it's showing off unless you're purposely trying to show off. There's a clear delineation between, oh, look what I'm doing, looking around and seeing what type of reactions you're having, and just wanting to cube. Yeah. And I don't think you should be holding back just because you're in an area with other people. And actually, this applies to what I was saying before, is DG, I suggested something to DG a while ago, that sometimes he gets nervous in his Paramix finals because he's...
all the time.
Yeah. So I suggested maybe to get used to performing under a stressful situation, he should cube more often in public, because if he's not comfortable with it, maybe it gets him out of his comfort zone and he does a little bit better. So
That's a good
anyway,
idea.
that's what I wanted to mention.
Yeah, I never cube in public, mainly because the only like public place I ever go is school.
Yeah.
and I don't like random people coming up and touching my cubes because they don't think that, you know, they probably have like disgustingly dirty fingers, and I don't want them all over my cubes, like, because it only happens during lunch.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
everybody's like, you know, I just ate a bunch of Cheetos and now I want to touch your cube.
You know, I've
Yeah.
noticed sometimes people touch my cubes and like they haven't been eating anything or anything, but I get it back and it's just like so greasy.
Yeah, greasy. Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's just the sweat from people. If you pass around to multiple people, it gets sweaty. That's all. Yeah.
Wait,
I know what
I've
you're
had
talking about, like-
competitions before, like trying people's cubes, and I'm like, why
Yeah.
are they so greasy? You know? Sometimes I like give them the benefit of the doubt. It's like maybe they just lubed it or something, but sometimes it's just like, this is nasty.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like reactions, also, I didn't address that. When I say cubing in public, I mean like at a restaurant, or like if I'll go to New York and I'll be like walking around with my sister lives in New York, so sometimes I'll visit with her and we'll go places and I'll have a cube out while I'm like walking and something like that, just or on the subway to pass some time. And you know, every once in a while I'll like see in my peripheral vision that somebody's watching me, or I'll hear like in the next booth over at a restaurant, oh, Rubik's Cube, which would not come up in a normal conversation unless they saw me. But I mostly try to avoid, like, number 1, ignore that, and number 2, not purposely try to turn to them or like show off in any way, because that's not what I'm trying to do. You know?
That's true.
Yeah,
So-
that's the same thing. I don't try to show off, but people still come up, and it's like,
Yeah.
especially from practicing. Like one time I was, you know, sitting waiting for my plane, and I was just practicing, because I was going to compete the next day and everything, and everybody just started watching me, and I was like, just please go away. Like, I'm just trying to practice.
Yeah, one time I was on a plane like a year ago, and I was just doing some solves. And I don't think anyone was watching me, but I was paranoid that they were. So I was like trying to turn so they wouldn't see my cube. I don't know. I get too scared of people judging me in public. You know, like I need to work on that. Like even just talking in public, if I'm being like really loud, it's just like, okay,
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta shut up now.
if I'm on the
Yeah.
plane and I'm like, if I was gonna cube, I always take the window seat.
Yeah. I have to learn to do that.
Yeah, I remember I like at Nationals 2014, which was like one of the first times I started to make videos. I was like, I'm gonna vlog, and I took out my camera, was about to hit record, and I was like, nope, not gonna do this because it's like the public recording thing that I can't do.
cannot record in public. I
Yeah.
tried doing that the couple times I've vlogged, especially for nationals this year, and I just couldn't do it. I was like,
Yeah.
It just feels
Yeah.
too weird.
It makes me
Yeah.
scared when I see other people's vlogs, like people looking at the camera person being
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
That scares me. So like,
Yeah.
me recording that would I can't even
I
imagine.
mean, I think it would
but-
get to the point where you just don't care, but like,
Yeah.
It would, yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think I've told this story, but for one of my Q&As, I had to go get a mango from a supermarket, right? Just normal Q&A stuff. So,
Do you do mango?
Yeah, that's what it was. Keaton asked me. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so I had to go to the store and record myself picking out a mango, right? And, like, scanning it and doing the self-checkout thing. And I was so scared, like, there was a store worker there, and I was like, if I take out my phone and start recording this mango, what's he gonna say? Like, it was just, I felt so awkward. I did it, but I was so scared. I kept, like, hiding behind my mom because I was scared. I don't know, it was...
I feel like it would be easier with a phone because I think people would just naturally assume it's like Snapchat or
Oh,
something.
true.
But
Yeah.
if you have like an actual camera,
Yeah. Especially if you're recording just like
Also,
if you're recording a
someone like,
mango.
someone like Casey Neistat who's got his
Yeah.
giant camera rig riding
Rest in
around
peace.
New York
Yeah.
City. I mean,
I think there's a certain point though where people are like, "Oh, this guy's a professional. He knows what he's
Yeah, that's
doing."
what I was gonna say.
But,
You
like,
get
in-
credibility with a camera.
Yeah, but like in
Yeah.
my case, I was a guy with a phone with his mom next to him. Like it didn't look professional.
yeah, I think another thing about that is most vloggers are adults, and so it's less weird for people watching them because if they're
Yeah.
I feel like it would be, but if you're just like younger, it would be just strange. Like I know I would honestly think it would be kind of strange to see a kid like recording himself with his phone just
Yeah.
in public. That would just seem weird. Like even though I'm sure I would know he was vlogging or something, it just doesn't seem right. So
Back to what
Yeah,
DG
it
said,
would
I
be
think
weird.
Andrew said that, like, you know how he vlogs?
Yeah.
So I asked him if bringing out his DSLR in public, like, does he get asked questions because it's a big camera? And he said no, like, people just assume that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we did have this discussion when Andrew was.
Yeah, I
there.
think that was on the podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. So the next question is from Berserker King.
You read that
I don't
wrong.
think.
Berserk.
Yeah, no, it's Berserk King. Yeah. Okay. To JR, when do you plan on learning full OLL?
So basically with OLL, everybody wants me to learn it. I don't think I will, or if I do, it would take like it would be a
Egad.
long process because like, so I basically a couple years ago gave up trying to get faster because I wanted to spend more time making videos, and I don't think I could like consistently spend like at least a couple of hours or just an hour a day practicing if I was trying to like be productive and stuff. So basically I was like, okay, I don't have time for practicing and trying to get faster. I can't learn any more algorithms. So I just stopped after I learned full PLL. Then I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna at that point I just kept practicing to get like slowly practicing to get sub 15. And now that I'm sub 15, it's like I don't care anymore, because that's always been my goal, is to get sub 15. And now that I've done that, it's like, all right, I'm done. I don't really feel like trying to get consistently sub 12 or sub 10 or anything. So
Interesting.
I don't have any plans on learning more subsets or finishing OLL. So
I think it's worth it to mention that in cubing there are more things to do than speed cubing. So it
Yes.
is okay if you don't want to get faster. That's not an unacceptable thing to do in this community. There's other paths you can go on. So
Hashtag unacceptable. Hashtag unsub from JRCuber, everyone. Hashtag not my cuber.
all right. So we all good with that?
Yep.
All right. The next question is from Sparsh A. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name and get it wrong.
Elawadi?
Sure.
Then DG does it for me.
I don't know.
Okay, there we go. So for everybody, what do you plan on taking on as a profession?
I'll go. Computer
Oh,
programming.
yeah. DG knows.
That's
Nice.
that's what I want to do. It's fun.
nice. Yeah, my friend's been trying to get me into programming for a long time.
It is really fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
For me, it's a toss-up at this point. First things first, there is no definite answer, and I have a feeling that I'll probably change whatever I decide. But I like chemistry a lot, so I either want to be... First, I was looking into chemical engineering, but that I figured out that what I was thinking of was actually materials science engineering, which is basically like using chemistry to build different materials, engineer different materials. So either that or like go into the more theoretical side of researching chemistry as like a subject area more than practical stuff, which is like theoretical or analytical chemistry. Yeah.
Well, you can have a theoretical job, but I'll have a real job. Got him.
Thanks.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah. No. The other thing is I like research a lot, so I might do something with research. I also like history a lot, so
That's cool.
that's another
Speaking of
completely
real
different
jobs,
direction.
I want to be a full-time YouTuber.
Good segue.
If that doesn't work out, like, I don't know if I'd be able to do cubing, but I would be okay with doing like either gaming or like tech videos. Like that would be cool. I don't know. Depends on where cubing goes. Like if it continues to grow at the same rate, then it should be then I should be okay. But then again, my channel's been slowing down for growth, and I think it's because it's kind of like hit a kind of like its max level
Carrying
at
capacity.
this point. Yeah, so I don't know how much more it's going to grow from this point on. So I would like to do that, but if that doesn't work out, then just filmmaking in general, like video production. So I'm probably going to get a degree in like communications or like actually I was looking at a digital filmmaking program, which looked really cool. And then maybe try and get an internship or something like that. Like I would love to work on movies, like editing movies. I think that would be fun. Doing like special effects stuff, all that kind of thing. I think that'd be cool.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Ava, do you have anything?
I'm not really like that sure, but it's probably something in the technology field. I'm a little more like I'm a little more interested in hardware than like software stuff. So maybe something with that. And then I also like videography and photography, so maybe like something on the side.
That's cool. Maybe like an electrical engineer or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think that might be a bit different. Yeah.
That's like more hardware side though.
That's hardware side, and when I think of electrical engineer, I think of like somebody fixing lights.
No.
Which I know that's not.
Yeah.
I know it's not quite exactly what it is.
How
but,
many
I don't
YouTubers
think
does
that's
it take
what
to
Ava's
screw in
saying
a
either.
light bulb?
Anyway, I want to mention two things. First of all, it's perfectly okay to not know what you're doing. There are plenty of adults who change fields. Or my math teacher was a pharmacist and just decided, you know what, I want to be a math teacher. It's perfectly fine. So
No, it's
don't
not.
be pressured. Don't be pressured when people ask you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because that's definitely not a definite answer.
Yeah.
And also, you probably won't be an astronaut. I'm so sorry. Also, I wanted to propose a question based on what Jesse mentioned about like the X asymptote, the carrying capacity of cubing.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
think anybody can currently make a substantial career on cubing?
Wait, didn't
The
Crazy
Maui Shaw.
Yeah.
isn't Crazy Bad Cuber, isn't that his full-time job?
No,
Is it?
he still
Sure.
has a job. He says he could live off of what he makes.
Right.
And he has disclosed that to me. I won't say it. And it's a lot more than I make. I don't know if it's just based on region or something. It's kind of weird because he gets less views per month than I do.
Huh.
But he, I think he still works a job. I actually don't know why. Like, I think it might be because of just like cost of living or something, or
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. And then I think
Well-
someone like Red KB as well. Like, I think
Yeah.
he could sustain himself if just with YouTube, but
Yeah.
he has a family, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question. Can you bolster a certain higher
Yeah.
standard of living upon
Yeah.
cubing?
Yeah. And I think it's because, I think living solely off of YouTube, like having a very extravagant lifestyle off of YouTube, could really only be achieved with like multiple millions of subscribers.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's why you never see someone with 500,000 subscribers going and buying an Audi for their dad or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Furthering that, do you think it's possible, forget like the standard of living question, to support oneself upon a cubing career not based on YouTube?
Ooh.
like, what do you mean by that? Like
What if you have
A
a true story?
competitive speed
Anthony
cuber.
Brooks.
Oh, okay.
Anthony Brooks, yeah.
Stephen
like,
Brundage?
Cuber, but you don't make much money from winning competitions. I mean, is
Yeah.
that
True.
what
Oh,
you're talking
Anthony's,
about?
well, how about like
Anthony's like a show guy.
cube store owners? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you build a business based on cubing, like Anthony Brooks, like Ava said, or like
Stephen Brundage?
Phil Liu, or Stephen Brundage, or
Yeah.
Cameron Brown. Like, if you do that, then I
Okay,
guess so.
the whole cubicle, like, that's all their full-time jobs. Everyone who works there, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like
Yeah,
already
absolutely.
like 10 people who are making a living
Yeah.
just off
Full-time
of cubing.
cubers.
Yeah.
That is
yeah,
so cool.
absolutely.
I totally would accept a job at the cubicle. Just saying. Like, to anyone who might be working there, like who's watching this, just it's a little past that.
Yeah,
Jesse,
so,
I mean,
like-
you have a pretty big channel yourself. You could just say that on there, too. Just saying. I mean, you probably have a wider outreach on there.
Anyway, so follow your dreams, kids. You could be a professional cuber someday. Anyway, that's that question in summary. Next, Noah to Cuber. I like that name. For Jesse, has Annoy Jay in public.
No, Anyo Jay.
Wait.
Anyo Jay. Anyone.
supposed to be anyone?
Everybody
Okay.
makes typos. Everybody makes typos. It's okay. We're just poking fun. Anyone.
Every
Has anyone in
every
public-
Oj makes typos.
Look at me. This is what this podcast is named off of, all right?
Oh, that's true.
If my spelling error appeared in the Dlsone podcast, we would make fun of it the same way. So,
Yeah.
has anyone in public come up to you and said that they watch your videos?
Not outside of competitions. So.
I had that once.
Oh wait, never mind. There's been people that have said they've at least heard of me or have seen my videos in the past, but aren't like active viewers. Like, there's actually a guy at my school that I met that went to a competition and met me. Like, he used to be a cuber, but he's not anymore.
That's cool.
So like,
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, no, not really.
Huh. For me, I've had 1.5.
Really?
Yeah,
So you
at
have half.
A half a person.
well, yeah, they didn't really have legs or arms. No, just kidding. But
Like that statistic where, like, the average family has 2.5 children.
yeah. No, but like the first one was because I was at school and I was doing like what's it called? What do they call them, Adam? Where you like present the school.
Information session.
Yeah, I was at an information session for my school. I was like helping out for a new freshman and stuff. That was this year. And so after one of the info things that I was presenting, some dad came up to me and he was like, are you I forget how he said it, but he was like, "Are you on YouTube?" My son was just like, my son says he watches your videos or something. And then I said, "Yeah." And his son came over and he was a cuber. And like, it was just really cool. So we talked for a little bit, but, and then the half was on Halloween. Some trick-or-treater at my door. I was handing out candy and they were like, "Cool YouTube channel." And I said, "Thanks." And then they left. But the thing is, I don't know if it was just some random person who knew my YouTube channel and just said it so casually, or if they were like a neighborhood person who I just didn't recognize but knew me because of, like, neighborhood people know each other. Like, I wasn't sure. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it hurts me that I didn't ask him more, but I don't know. He just took my candy and left.
It was definitely a cuber who traveled many miles to come trick or treat at your door, and then you just snubbed him like right there. You're like, no,
Yeah.
you're half a person.
If you're listening to this, let me know.
Yeah. Any more stories? I can definitely
I
say
do.
no from me.
Well,
Yeah.
kind of. So, I was in a Science Olympiad last year, and then, like, in the room right
Represent.
next to us. What?
Represent.
Oh.
Sorry, continue.
So in the room next to us was the debate team, and someone from like the other town was coming, and so I went. So one of my friends was from that town, and he was on debate team. So I went to talk to him, and then I went back to Science Olympiad, and I went home. And then that night I got an email saying, "Were you at this school?" Blah blah blah. It's kind of weird, but like they were
that's
asking
funny.
if I
Yeah,
was
that's
like
like they didn't
#Cougar.
approach you.
Nice.
Yeah,
They didn't
Yeah.
approach you, but they emailed you after.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So
I've
they were
gotten
from
a couple
that-
of comments
yeah.
about people who are like, I think I saw you in like the grocery store.
Yeah, someone's
that,
like,
and they
someone's like, I think I saw you at a bar mitzvah.
Oh, yeah, but you
Oh,
go to like
yeah.
a million bar mitzvahs, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wait, Ava, how many bar mitzvahs have you been to?
Bar and bot?
Okay, yeah.
Maybe like 15.
Oh man.
That's legit. That's more than me, and I'm Jewish.
That's more than me too, including my own.
Yeah, same.
All right. The next question is from Andrew Tyberg, who says, "What is the most frustrating or embarrassing DNF you've ever gotten in a competition?" And he states his. It was when he realized during inspection that he'd forgotten to turn on his camera, so turned it on, and that wasn't allowed.
Ooh, that
So he was
hurts.
DNF'd.
That hurts.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
I mean,
Did
I
that happen to a guy in finals at nationals? Like
Did it?
he messed with his GoPro after inspection started and they DNF'd us all.
Oh,
Really?
really?
I
Wait,
think
I didn't
so.
know about that.
I don't remember who he was, but I heard about that. I think they allowed it, like they let it slide, because he didn't like turn the camera on. He just adjusted it on his head.
Hmm.
But it was
Interesting.
yeah. I think like initially they DNF'd him.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know. I don't think I've really had any embarrassing like annoying DNFs. It just happens sometimes. I think it's only happened like once or twice as well. So
Mm.
Hmm.
Last year, I had an annoying series of DNFs. Gen 2 timers don't like to start.
Oh man.
I would have
This
had
is painful.
a pretty solid Pyrrha average at the time for me. Like I've beaten anything it could have been since then, which makes me feel good. But like at the time, it would have been maybe like 3.3 or something, and that was insanely good for me. So like I don't know, it really hurt
Yeah.
because
DG, you're being modest because that would have been like top 20 in the world. That's more than
yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
That's like
it hurt so much because I didn't even make finals, you know, like, Adam, did you do Pyraminx there? Because you beat me.
I didn't make it to wasn't that in the second round?
No, that was first round. I didn't make finals because I DNF'd.
Boom! I beat you at Pyramix.
Yeah, you
Get
did.
wrecked.
GJ.
Also, fun fact: the only second round I've ever made it to is in Pyramix in nationals. I don't know how I made it to round 2 of Pyramix at nationals, but
I love that.
you guys got to come to like some Texas comps or some Colorado.
Oh,
comps.
yeah.
True.
I mean, you can make finals in 3x3 with any average, really.
How about
you can make finals? You would have no problem.
Come one, come all. Any average makes finals.
How about them Idaho
Play till you
comps?
win.
Play till you win. Yeah, I want to mention something I saw at a competition recently, which is interesting. Somebody had like a camera that was directly going to a live feed on like an iPad under the table while he was solving,
What?
which is
That's
weird.
pretty shady. Yeah, that's weird.
Where did you
Yeah,
see
but
that?
I
It wasn't
don't.
a GoPro, was it?
He's definitely not cheating off of it, but like there's potential there to see the back of your
Yeah,
feed,
that should
so I'm
be- that
confused
should
why
be-
there's no rule against that. You know?
There is. You can't see the thing. You can't see what you're recording. legally.
I guess it's
Exactly.
okay that it's under the desk and he's like up
Yeah,
against
yeah.
the table, so
Yeah.
there's no way he could see it.
Yeah, that's fine, but like if it could have been in view from where he was, that should be DNF'd.
Yeah. I just thought that was strange, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's definitely interesting, but maybe if you turn it away, so like that wouldn't even make sense.
I don't know.
Or if you were able to like connect it to a feed that was like wider so that other people could see the solve, that would make sense.
Yeah.
If that's what your goal was, but anyway. Yeah, that's just something I want to mention.
Yeah.
Anything else to add as far as this question?
Yeah,
Nope.
Can I say something?
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I just looked it up. I have 42 DNFs. This not including
man.
Oh my goodness,
not
Ava.
including blind.
What?
How many comps have you been to?
29.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
But still, that's a lot.
I know. I DNF a lot. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
my biggest
Sarah's
problem,
strong.
yeah.
What?
Okay, not as
Yeah,
bad
you're
as
Sarah-
but still. Yeah.
She's the DNF queen. You're the DNF princess.
So, my biggest problem, I mean, not really now, but like 6 months ago, my biggest problem was timer resets. And I timer reset 4 solves every competition. So, that was pretty frustrating, but I think the most frustrating was Norwich Summer 2015. So I came second place in 2x2, round 1, and then in the finals, I time reset one of them, which got me a counting 5, so I came in 5th place or something.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Rip.
And
I
would
think I
probably
just
kill
remembered
you.
a DNF. Oh, really?
Oh, that
sucks.
hurts.
I think I do remember one time I did get a DNF because I accidentally reset the timer after before the guy had finished writing it down.
Oh.
Because
I've done that.
I guess I just did not think it was gonna take that long for him to write down the time. But
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
it was like a solid 45 seconds after the
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So that's 9.
Yeah.
No, I've come very close to that as well
Point?
because it's a reflex, right? You
Yeah.
you stop your solve, you reset your timer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I'm
That's-
so close. I've never actually done it. I don't know how many total
Yeah.
DNFs I've ever had, but it's probably under 10. I don't DNF very often, but
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get this, by the way, but I have not gotten a pure sub 20 3x3 average. But at
You're
nationals,
so close at Princeton.
yeah, at nationals was the closest actually. Nationals, I don't remember the progression of the times, but I remember that it was all good, and I just needed to get the last one. Of course, it didn't really matter because no matter what I got on that, the average would be sub 20. But I wanted that pure sub 20 just for good optics, right? So I got a 19, but I turned the AUF the wrong way in the last move, and I got a 21, and it was so annoying.
That hurts.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't really compare to your guys' examples, but
Still hurts.
Well, before I competed for the first time ever, actually, right before at Nationals 2012, I got my first ever sub 20 average. That was pretty
Nice.
exciting. And then I got a 27 average. So
all right, never mind. I DNF'd a lot more because I forgot about hard cutoffs.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've DNF'd only once in 3x3, and it was at my third competition because my Zanchi popped, and I think for some reason I just thought, common courtesy was just, stop the timer, DNF, whatever. So I did that. I could have put it back together, but I just didn't feel like it, so I don't know. I could be DNF free in 3x3 if I hadn't done that, but I don't know. Nope.
Let's move on to the next question. The next
Okay.
question is by our very best friend Roy Lee.
Yeah, boy. Who's hosting a
Who is
competition
on-
with Avocado on January 7th.
Yeah.
Yay.
He's on a mad question streak. Anyway, which Cuber do you think Chris Olsen should interview? I want to go first. I think Chris Olsen should interview himself. That would be very interesting.
Ooh. That'd be cool.
Okay. I don't really have a direct answer for this, but I really liked his interview with Chris Hardwick because I think it just gives a different perspective. Since he's an old timer, so just anyone who not really a famous speedcuber, I guess just someone does something else for the community,
Yeah.
Definitely. That's a great idea.
How about me, myself, and pie?
Tell me,
So,
pie.
That would.
Okay, so that's about it for the Q&A. Now we're going to move on to our discussion. And today we'll be talking about sort of the reactions to comments on viral cubing videos. So the most recent example of this is on Matt Volk's
Matt Volk.
Matt's Volk's world record video. And directly what we're referring to here is when people who are not experienced in the cubing community, non-cubers, when they comment something that cubers don't like, we want to discuss like how you should be responding to those things and why certain things are bad.
So, can I kind of start us off here?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So, I don't know if anybody scrolled through the comments of Matt's world record video. I don't know why I felt compelled to spend a lot of time there and like educate non-cubers about cubing. Basically, you'll notice a lot of my comments are like, "Yeah, inspections allowed based on the official World Cube Association regulations," and then I link them or whatever. I think I'm proud of the way I responded to most of the comments. I didn't get angry at anyone, and like when I look at a lot of other responses, like one of the big things people talked about on that video was like, it's really 16 seconds because he looked at the cube forever before it. And, like, I don't know. It's like, people are basically saying inspection is illegal and I'm telling you how you should run your hobby. Which, you know, that, it really gets to me when people do stuff like that. Like, when they think, oh, I'm just some random guy who doesn't know what he's talking about and I'm gonna tell you how you should run competitions. But, like, you know, you don't need to act arrogant towards them. You know, just because you know more about cubing than they do doesn't mean you need to be mean to them. Like, really, you should just try to educate them. And that's basically what I did. I linked them to the WCA regulations. They can learn more. Maybe they actually will end up getting into cubing. You never know. But
Absolutely.
a lot of people, they see that, and they're like, non-cuber alert, you're stupid, get out, I hate you, go kill yourself. Like, that's not how you should respond to somebody who doesn't know how inspection works, which is like, it's, I don't know, it's not something that the general public should be expected to know, you know?
Absolutely. I think the lack of knowledge is not a bad thing, but for a lot of different cubers, it is taken like it's this crime, sort of. And when you're on those types of videos, you should do your best not to incite any arguments, because there's no point in them. People who don't know about cubing will have their opinions, and you have yours. And this train of thought just derailed a long time ago. I don't know what I'm gonna say. No, but the basics, like, you shouldn't be inciting an argument just based on the fact that somebody doesn't know something that you know. You know, that's just what I want to say.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything to add to that, actually. Like, you basically said everything perfectly well.
Awesome.
Anything?
That was barely a
Yeah.
discussion.
What?
That was barely a discussion.
Yeah, that wasn't
More
it.
like a
Yeah.
PSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can hold on.
Let's see.
There are definitely instances in which I'm hesitant to use this term, but non-cubers, based on like the comments that were received on the video, non-cubers say that absolutely cross the line. And at that point in time, you ignore it. You don't say anything further. There were comments made about cubing as a hobby, on how cubers are things I'm not going to repeat here, but are horrible things, and you should not be arguing with those people. They have their opinions, and that's definitely due to ignorance upon the hobby as well. I think they don't know enough to, and they're making generalizations.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff also could be avoided if comments about non-cubers, like, oh, non-cubers are going to say this.
Yes, yes.
Those comments, if you hold them back, you won't get a lot of those types of really mean comments from those people. That's why I was hesitant to use the term non-cuber.
Yeah.
You should never use that on a video that goes viral.
Yeah, I mean, there are cubers and there are non-cubers, you know? Non-cubers don't know as much about cubing because that's what they are. But, like, you know, it's like, Cubers, like, a lot of times, some, for lack of a better word, non-cubers, are going to be very hostile in the comments, you know? They're going to be like, oh, cubing is, like Adam said, things I'm not going to repeat for the sake of the children listening to the podcast. But, like, you know, when they say that, as a cuber, you know it's not true. If you want to try to respond to them, don't try to incite an argument. Like, the thing I found, like, especially even just responding to trolls on my YouTube channel and stuff, kill them with kindness, you know? If they're being a jerk to you, you know, don't be a jerk back.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, like, I'm reading through the comments right now.
Yeah.
If you see a comment from a hardcore keyboard warrior, just don't respond. Like, that's what I would do, honestly, because there's no way you're going to be able to change their opinion or get them to say anything nice about you or anyone, for that matter.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And that's what I'm seeing. Like, there's this dude who's just, you know, basically hating on everything, on the video, and this guy is basically inciting an argument, and they just keyboard warrior stuff.
Yeah, back and forth, back and forth, back
Yeah.
and forth. Also, it's important to mention, this is a skill that you build up. And I'm pretty sure all of us here have it at this point in time.
Yeah.
But you gotta know when to stop with these comments. I mean, you gotta, at some point, you gotta be the bigger man and just cut it off. And that's not like losing the argument. That's winning the argument. You have to keep that in mind. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you feel the need to continue, really the worst thing to do is just get into an insult flinging competition. Like, nobody cares how many curse words you can fit into your comment, you know? Like, that doesn't make you a better person. So, just, I don't know. Try to be logical if you are going to respond to people who are illogical. I don't know.
Also, I think a lot of those comments about non-cubers were not supposed to be. They were definitely made as jokes. And we're not saying that you shouldn't joke around. Obviously, that's something we're doing on this podcast. You gotta have to be able to do that. You can't be serious all the time, but you gotta make sure they're in good taste and everything as well. Don't say anything that would purposely offend anybody, and if somebody takes something that cannot possibly be offensive and makes it offensive, that's when you don't respond to them.
Yeah.
Because furthering that is inciting an argument. They're just looking for you to respond. Yeah, so that's some general guidelines, some insight about, like, how us as YouTubers view comment responses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Often what I do is if I'm about to type something, I type it, I leave it there for 5 minutes, and then come back to it and see if I'm going to still send it.
Yeah, that's always good to do. I agree with that.
That's good practice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need some time to chill off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
That's what we had to say about that. Yeah, so I think generally we would be better off if that was limited in these sort of videos.
Yeah. Alright.
Is there anything further to add to this discussion?
I don't think so. Just in the comments, be nice. You know? Just in general.
Be nice, kids.
On any video, be nice. It'll make people happier. Yep.
Yes.
Nice. Cool.
Anyway, moving on for that. Next we have everybody's second favorite thing.
True.
Cubing in the news.
Okay, so I'll introduce this, as I always do, because it is my favorite thing. So, if you haven't seen any episodes of the podcast before, go binge watch them all now, like Jesse did. And Cubing in the News is basically where we find terrible cubing news articles, and we read them. And this is kind of going against what we just said. We're totally making fun of non-cubers right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but this is in good taste.
Yeah.
This is not like
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
they're dumb, they're stupid.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's just fun. It's all in fun, you know.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of is, but
Yeah. It's all in fun. We're not doing it in comments. Don't spam these people with your hate.
Well, at least we can get our fix by doing it this way instead of
Yes.
just making mean comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Additionally, the difference here is that I feel like this is a little bit more entitled based on the fact that, like, these people, it's their job to do more research into this, and they are not. So
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Or they
Anyway-
have no idea how to interpret what they're reading.
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
Anyway, Jesse, I sent the article to you in the video call window chat. I don't know if you can
Alright.
see that.
Yeah, I see it.
All right.
Okay.
So,
this one's pretty short.
it is pretty short, but I think it's
Alright.
pretty good. So,
Alright.
so how do we, Jesse? I guess you can start with the title and read the first couple paragraphs, or you can read the whole thing if you want. Actually,
I'll
yeah,
read
it's
it,
pretty
yeah.
short. Just read the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Rubik's Cube solved in less than 5 seconds in new world record. Alright.
Wow.
A 20-year-old man from the Netherlands has broken the Rubik's Cube world record, solving it in 4.74 seconds. Less time than it takes most of us to even begin. Okay.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm just wondering how they define begin.
Yeah.
Like pick up the cube, start solving the cube. Like, what's the beginning?
Mats Valk broke the record at the World Cube Association's Jawa Timur Open in Indonesia on Sunday. He beat the previous record set by 14-year-old Lucas Eder in 2015 by nearly 0.2 seconds, an eternity in the world of competitive Rubik's cubing, reported Time magazine.
My quick
I
question
guess that's
for
pretty
them.
accurate. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
but my question is why they need to quote Time magazine of all sources.
yeah.
Like,
That just I think that's okay. Like that's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's acceptable as like a informing. Like their job is to inform people.
Yeah.
But I think it shows that what kind of job you're doing, that you need to like talk to, like reference a more credible newspaper that's doing the same, that's supposed to be doing the same job as you in your article. So
Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point.
Mr. Valk. By the way, there's no period after the Mr.
Mervolk.
Just saying. Yeah. All right. Mr. Valk's average time at the competition was 6.89 seconds. His rivals averaged from 10 seconds to 17.78 seconds for the same solve, as it is called in the Rubik's Cube competition world. What else would you call it?
I like how they put
my
solve in quotes. Like,
Yeah.
solve, like that's a word we made up.
Yeah.
Solve doesn't make sense, but solve.
yeah, it's like they're explaining some cubing specific term, like corner cutting or popping or something.
Yeah.
Solve. That's not. Oh, man.
Also, those two times seemed very arbitrary. Like, where did they
Yeah.
even come from?
Yeah, I'm actually curious. I'm gonna check cube comps right now. Actually, when was that competition? Jawa Timur Open.
That comment also is like saying at Rubik's Cube Nationals 2016, the times ranged from 10 seconds to 2 minutes, or like two random times.
Yeah.
Like just choosing two people's random times that isn't representative of the whole. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I know where they got it. This is wrong though. So Matt's average was 689, which they just referenced. Second place average in that round was 10 flat, and last place was 1778. But they're saying for
yeah.
the same solve. That's the average. So
Yeah.
that's not right.
Yeah.
So
that's
they're just
true.
wrong. But okay,
Isn't that presented on Cube Comps under the average column?
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, like come on.
How much clearer can you get?
I don't know.
Okay. Moving on. Australia's World Cube champion Felix Zemdegs was impressed. I'm surprised they got his name right.
Yeah.
Mr. Zemdegs.
Mer Zemdegs.
Yeah.
It's just Mer.
Mer Zemdegs of Melbourne still holds the record based on the average of 5 solves. Oh no. but Mr. Zalk now holds the record for the. That's a classic.
Merzalk.
Yeah, so according to this newspaper, Merzalk is the world record holder.
Merzalk.
Oh man.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right. Yeah. What?
Why does it say the plot thickens?
Oh, it's
that
like
was,
a link
Felix.
to something Felix said.
They embedded Felix's tweet.
But they didn't actually.
Technically, you're right. They did not embed it.
They just put
They
the
copied
words
and
there.
pasted it.
Yeah.
Overall,
that was great.
out of 10, what would you name this, rate this article?
Like 10
wait,
being like
is-
From the
terrible.
The Courier. 10 being like Vox or Cracking the Cube.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'd have to say,
4.20.
haha. I'd have to say more like maybe like 3.125 because it's half of 625, and also because like it wasn't that bad, but then Zalk, like that's
Zalk.
too good.
Yeah.
I would say 3.
Honestly, I'd give it like a 5 or a 6. Like, because a lot of the information was accurate. You know, it did its job of like presenting information.
Yeah.
It did it in a way. It did it poorly because some of the information is incorrect.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like all the way down there at like average, right? But this is average for like
That's fair.
cubing articles.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, like I would give it like a 3 if this was like supposed to be like more of like a discussion of cubing, but this is just a news article listing the facts, or
Yeah.
that's what's supposed to be.
Well,
so
got like half of
Okay,
it
have
wrong.
you guys have heard of the? Have you guys read the article where when Lucas first broke the record, and they were like, you know, this young boy in his math class.
Oh no, that was
Yes.
the Colin
picked
one. That
up
was the
a
Colin
Rubik's
one.
Cube.
Yeah.
that was the Colin one.
Yo,
Yeah.
you know how we found that?
That's a 2.
Yeah.
You know how? No, that's a 1.
Yeah,
That is
Probably
a
a
1.
1. Yeah.
Because
No,
probably a
nothing
1.
in
You
that
know-
article was remotely correct.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, you know how I found that though? Like, I found that because I searched DG cubes because sometimes I do that to see what comes up. Right now, it's the 5th thing on Google when you search
Really?
DG cubes.
I've
yeah,
got to find this.
yeah. It says kid breaks Rubik's cube record in less than a minute, and they spell
Well,
Rubik's
that
wrong.
changes based on who's computer.
Yeah, it does. For me, it's 5th, but
Yeah, it's not even on the first.
Oh,
page.
okay. Yeah, I found it like on one of the later pages when I first found it, but it's because they cited me or whatever. So for the video,
Nice.
yeah. So kid breaks Rubik's cube record in less than a minute. Anyway, so I guess that's gonna wrap up cubing in the news, right?
Yep.
That's about it for cubing in the news. All right, so that's about it for this episode of the Dlsone podcast. Thank you once again to Jesse or JRCuber for joining us.
Yep. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thanks for being on.
Yep.
Okay, so before we end off, we're going to announce our next guest on the podcast. So, drum roll, please. Our next guest is Felix Zemdegs. Yeah, so Felix will be on next episode, and that's pretty exciting, so we're really looking forward to that. All right, so that's about it for this one. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can leave them down below, and that'll be much appreciated. Like, share this video, and follow us on social media in order to be awesome, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Okay, bye.
I stopped getting faster because I wanted to work.
It's fine. We'll do this part over.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, whoever's editing this will put this at the end as like the blooper thing. Sometimes we do that. So.
Oh man, why
All
couldn't
that
you just
muckus.
muted his mic like on the call?
That's true. He could have done that.